It was a Saturday evening, the sort that begins warm and inviting, full of laughter and clinking glasses, and somehow turns into a memory you can't shake. Our living room was alive. Friends gathered, drinks in hand, stories ricocheting off the walls. That night, I watched my wife Claire with pride. How effortlessly she made everyone laugh. She had that rare magnetism, quick-witted, playful, perfectly charming. Then she said it, a careless joke hidden in laughter, but it cut deep. Someone teased about trust in marriage, asking how he handled it. Without missing a beat, Claire laughed and said, "Oh, if I ever cheat, it'd probably be with Jake." The room exploded in laughter. Everyone except me. Jake, my best friend since college, chuckled uneasily and sipped his beer, but I felt the shift in the air. Beneath the noise, I heard it, the tiny fracture forming in my chest. I forced a smile, played along, but inside, something had changed. Her laughter didn't falter. She added, "Well, at least I'd pick someone he trusts." The laughter grew louder, as if loyalty itself was a joke. I joined in just enough to keep the night moving, but my quiet afterward spoke louder than any outburst ever could. The party ended hours later, but her words lingered. As friends left, laughter fading down the hall, I stood at the sink, rinsing glasses, watching the last red wine swirl down the drain, like trust leaking away. Claire came up behind me, arms around my waist. "Hey," she murmured lightly. "You know I was just joking, right?" I didn't turn. "Yeah," I said softly. Real crowd pleaser. She paused, waiting for me to soften, but I didn't. Silence stretched between us, heavy and unspoken. The next morning, she acted as though nothing had happened. Coffee brewed, sunlight streamed to the curtains. She hummed along to a song on her phone. Everything normal. But for me, the world fell off balance. That night, I met Jake at our usual spot. He looked uneasy, almost guilty. "Man, I didn't mean to laugh. It just caught me off guard," he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck. I nodded. "Yeah, I get it. But you know what's funny?" He looked up. She thought it was a joke. "But what she doesn't see," I said, leaning back, "is that sometimes a joke becomes a truth people hide behind." He said nothing after that, just stared into his drink. And for the first time, I realized it wasn't the joke that broke me. It was how easily everyone laughed. A week passed, and the tension between us thickened, invisible but impossible to ignore. Claire tried to spark laughter like before, but the sound no longer reached me. Trust had leaked away quietly, like air escaping a punctured tire. One evening, at dinner, she finally asked, "Are you ever going to let that go?" I put down my fork, met her eyes, and said, "Tell me this. If I joked about sleeping with one of your friends, would you be laughing?" Her face fell. The light in her eyes dimmed. "You're overreacting," she said softly. I shook my head. "No, Claire, I'm just reacting. You cross a line you don't even believe exists." For a long moment, she didn't speak. Silence between us was no longer awkward. It was final. That night, I packed a small bag and left. No yelling, no arguing, no explanations. I just walked out. Sometimes the quietest exit makes the loudest statement. A few days later, she texted, "It was just a joke. You're really ending everything over that?" I stared at it, then typed back, "You joke about betrayal. I just showed you what the punchline feels like. No grand finale, no dramatic closure, just a quiet truth. Some laughter doesn't fade.